personalities towards the president and to direct the remarks to the chair. Under the Speaker's announced policy of January 3, 2025, the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Schweikert, is recognized for 30 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I missed all of you. It's now that we're back. And look, I get teased back home of doing these things that seem like more like an economics lecture. That's actually not the goal here. It's actually to sort of walk through reality of math, because so much of this body is about theater and not about facts. As my wife a decade ago said, David, you get to go and hang out in a math-free zone. So let's have some fun with facts and math. Mr. Speaker, next year, the 2026 fiscal year, 3 weeks away, take a guess. For every dollar of tax collections, we get next year, what are we going to spend? For every dollar of tax collections we take in next year, we're going to spend $1.43. Just this one number right here should scare the hell out of people. And instead, the hallways around here are full of people demanding more spending. Just a little while ago in my office were more people saying, can you get us a grant? Can you get us more money? Can you regulate our competition? For every dollar of tax collections this year. Now look, we still got 3 more weeks before the fiscal year's over. My estimate is we're going to spend $1.39. Next year it's $1.43. How long do you intend for this to go on? And here's your problem. Most of that increase in spending is not some sort of crazy this, crazy that. It's interest. Remember, interest rates are up. We still have to finance about $10 trillion of refinance this year. And we're going to bring about 2.3 trillion in total new debt this year. Next year, the baseline was we were going to borrow $2.5 trillion. It's probably going to be less, $300 billion because of customs duties, tariffs. But here's something I beg of everyone, whether you be on the left or the right, burn this into your psyche. We borrow about $70,000 to $72,000 every second. And almost all the growth in that borrowing is interest and healthcare costs. Mr. Speaker, sorry, forgive me, I enjoy tormenting you, I don't mean to. Think of this, in 7 years, the Social Security Trust Fund is empty. And under the law, Grandma takes a 24% cut in her check. In 7 years, we double senior poverty in America. Yet, if you're an idiot like I am and you get up and say, we really should work on this, the Democrat consultants are going to beat the crap out of a Republican and vice versa for even mentioning the fact about the math. It's not Republican math, it's not Democrat math, it's in the Social Security Actuary Report. In 7 years, the Medicare Trust Fund is empty. So if you're running a hospital or one of these where the Part A trust fund is your revenue source, you get an 11% cut in 7 years. This year we're going to spend $1 trillion on Medicare. In 7 years, we spend $2 trillion. It doubles in 7 years. It's demographics. It's not personal. It's not Republican, Democrat. It's what we are as a society. We have the same number of 18-year-olds today as we had 20 years ago, but we have double the number of our brothers and sisters who are 65. It's math. And behind these microphones, this week, how many people have come up behind the microphones and actually talked about math? About the demographics, about the economic future? I would argue understanding the math is moral. Is it moral to look the other way and in 7 years double senior poverty? But yet you will get the living crap kicked out of you around here if you actually tell the truth about the math, because we've spent so many decades lying to the American people. Look, I have this board I've used for a while. It was saying, hey, right now we're borrowing $6 billion a day. I apologize. This number's wrong. We're borrowing $6.5 billion a day. And there's the theatric problem. You get people, I'm going to save a couple $100 million. Wonderful. Let's see, if I'm doing $6.5 billion a day, that's what, almost $270 million an hour. And there's the fraud around here, is the inability to understand the scale of what's going on. And understand, borrowing is a tax. It's a tax paid for in the future with your retirement, my kids, but it's a tax paid with interest. But we have a society who so desperately wants free stuff. They want money. Yet you get, and look, the 100 times I come behind this microphone and show them the chart saying, I want every dime of my Social Security. Of course, every dime. And the average couple, most people don't realize the Social Security formula actually is progressive. So if you're a high-income earner, you get less of your money. If you're a lower-income earner, your FICA tax you paid, you actually get more. But in the mean, you get about a $72,000 spiff for that couple. It's a crap rate of return. But society, the Democrats, back 20, 25 years ago, decided that the idea of putting a little money into the markets was a horrible idea, except for the fact now we look back 25 years later, it was a wonderful idea. Poverty, rates of return, those things would have been dramatically different. But it's too late now. We're well into the population bubble of baby booms. The driver that we don't like to tell the truth about is that same couple, for every dollar they put into Medicare, you're going to get about $6, $7 back. And most people don't realize about 38% of Medicare comes from the trust fund. About 15% comes from your copay. The rest comes right out of the general fund. Are we allowed to tell each other, the lobbyists, the activists, the people on social media making absolute crap up? How about our voters? Are we allowed to get in front of them and saying, this is serious, this isn't a game? We right now are borrowing about $6.5 billion every single day for this fiscal year. And we're down to the last 3 weeks, so you have a really good sense of what we borrowed. In 9 budget years, it's well over $10 billion a day. And yet, a couple hours ago, I offered an amendment that basically said, hey, there's all these dollars, and I'm going to talk about this probably 2-3 times, that were appropriated. I showed one example, appropriated in 2015. This wasn't a huge amount of money, a few $1 million, and it's never been touched. And we just leave it sitting in the account. But we borrowed it, we're paying interest on it, but it just sits there. That's insane. And so you hear people, budget geeks, go, we should do zero-based budgeting. Absolutely, because you can say, oh, we did that, we were going to do this. In that case, it was actually a clean coal program, but no one actually ever qualified for the grants, so the cash sat. There was like $36 billion of stuff that's been sitting in the accounts for more than a year and some for a half a decade. Yet, we are so dysfunctional, we can't actually start from the beginning and go line by line by line by line. It doesn't solve the problem, but it helps. So let's actually walk through math reality. I'm a Ways and Means guy. I chair oversight and ways and means, but I also chair the Joint Economic Committee. So I have a handful of PhD economists that work for the committee, and we try so hard to do intellectually honest math. Mr. Speaker, please don't tell anyone, but I'm a dinosaur. I actually believe in free markets. I actually believe in the elegance of competition. We're actually going to touch a little bit on the economics of creative destruction. And if you want productivity, because I'm going to show in these charts, with where we are demographically, if we don't have an explosion of productivity, we can't make wages go up. If you are a working person in this country today, particularly like in my Phoenix, Scottsdale area, if you're a working person today and you haven't had about a 28% pay hike in the last 4 years, you are poor today. It's called inflation. Biggest tax in modern history was those 3 years of inflation. Because we now get to pay back our debt with inflated dollars. We're crushing people. The way you make wages go up is two things. You raise people's wages because of inflation. Well, that just means you're treading water. Or productivity. Now, some of the things we did in the reconciliation budget that we passed before break is expensing, research and development expensing, things to try to get investments to do things better, faster, cheaper. But we're going to have the brutal discussion of if you have a society where you functionally have the same number of 18-year-olds coming in, and next year it's going to be lower, and next year it's going to be smaller, and the year after that it's smaller, and people like me, baby boomers with gray hair, there's a whole bunch of us, you got to legalize technology. Is it rational? And I'll say this a couple times. Is it rational to make it illegal to automate a port? Now, I understand, I'd love to have the dock workers and the unions love me. Maybe they'd even send financial help and say nice things about me. But it's not about that. It's about the entire continuity of society when we create these barriers for automation, for doing things better, faster, healthier, cheaper. If you're going to have a command and control economy, let's just admit we're populists. We want to run the economy. We want to own businesses. We don't believe in the economic theories of creative destruction, creating new, better, faster. But give up on the productivity cycle. And then you tell me how people's wages go up. You have a middle class, it's getting absolutely crushed and squeezed. Their purchasing power is stagnant, if not reduced. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's going to happen through policy here. And it's like no one here went to their basic elementary school economics class. So look, the chart here, I'm going to try to make a point, is customs duties. We all talk about tariffs. I had heard a member here a couple days ago, say, customs duties, tariffs are going to pay for everything. No, they're not. Now, they do pay for most of the big, beautiful bill. But the fact of the matter is, last year we took in about $77 billion in custom duties. This year we're going to take in, our best guess is $190 billion. Yay! Except the problem is, did I mention to you a little bit ago that we borrow about $6.5 billion a day? So the increase in tariffs, custom duties, is going to pay for like 11 days of borrowing. 365 days, we just covered 11 days of borrowing. For anyone that's watching, much of what DOGE was doing was fascinating. Go look at doge.gov right now, and you'll see a couple $100 billion of potential savings, though only a fraction have actually been executed because we in Congress can't even do basic rescissions. We did a rescission before August. It was total of like $9 billion. So if you're borrowing $6 billion, we covered a day and a half of borrowing. And it was war here for 6 weeks to save that much money. We're living in a mathematical delusion where people don't understand. That's 12 zeros. They don't see the difference between a trillion and a billion. But the fact of the matter is, we need to start telling truth about the math. And look, oh, so sorry. Let's walk through, let's get a little more geeky. This morning there was something called the JOLTS data. It's basically ADP's attempt to sort of take an estimate of what's happening in jobs data. There's been a lot of slop in the numbers, and look, we were beating up BLS before, but remember, we also have a response rate to the surveys that are down dramatically. So one of the reasons sometimes you get big revisions, and then the next month you get a little more data, and the next month you get finally more returns, you can finally calculate. But in the JOLTS data, there's a fascinating number to look at. So the number of jobs was fairly flat, but unemployment looks like our best model is going to stay steady because we're finding we don't have as many workers looking for jobs. Really worth taking a look that are we starting to see the demographic implications of how many of our brothers and sisters are choosing to take retirement at age 62. For years we've been looking at there's like 7 million prime age males missing from the labor force. That was actually one of the controversies when we were trying to do some of the reforms in Medicaid, saying should we ask folks to at least look at participating in the economy and the society, because heaven knows we need them. And look, this may be a little bit geeky, this chart, but the basic premise is when you're taking a look at labor force participation, back here's the recession, we were like 70% of the population was participating in the economy. Today, we're down here below 62%. Or 62.5 was our 2025 estimates, and we believe it's going to continue to fall. Is this people just sitting on the sidelines? No. It's more complicated. As a society, we got older. We've done entire presentations, and I know this is controversial and uncomfortable, of our brothers and sisters when you have entire states where more than half the population qualifies as being obese. Not being mean, but the Joint Economic Committee a couple years ago did a major study saying, hey, turns out obesity costs about $9.1 trillion of additional healthcare spending over the 10 years. And there's the Milken study from a few years ago saying 47% of all U.S. healthcare. Maybe the morality is getting our head straight, say we help our brothers and sisters get healthier so they can participate in the economy, so we have more labor force participation, so the economy grows, so productivity goes up, and wages go up. But we're incapable of a unified theory around here because it would require thinking in math. And to get a little more sarcastic, we actually are fixated on just some of the budgetary problems. Okay, we actually believe there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that are subject to rescission. They've been sitting in accounts for years. And instead, we just did an appropriations bill a little while ago where we stacked on top of stack. Why is it so terrifying to the army of lobbyists, the people back home that want more money, to say, hey, we're just going to look at everything because we found occasions where we're doing an appropriation, except there was an appropriation done 3-4 years ago and the money's still sitting in the account. I understand in the scale, if you're borrowing $270 billion a month, maybe fixing this, but we don't have a choice. Is anyone else, at least at all, freaked out a little bit looking what's happening around the world right now? What's happening to French bonds, British bonds, Japanese yields on the long end of the curve? When you see the long end of the curve going up and going up and going up, that lets you know the entire world is getting really nervous about long-term debt. Ray Dalio the billionaire, has been giving speeches around the country. We even wrote a book saying, you got a math problem. The entire industrialized world basically is at zero to negative population growth. They have our brothers and sisters who have gotten older that are moving into their pension years, their healthcare years. Where's the savings to keep financing all these governments that are borrowing? And his argument is there's not enough savings for all the borrowing. And then you get the idiot who goes, well, we'll just print the money. Of course you will. And then what's that thing called? Oh yeah, inflation. And you debase the currency. So yes, you pay for it with inflated dollars, but everything you have your savings becomes worth less. You make real estate and things more expensive so the next generation can't buy a house. We're basically, it's an economic term. Oh yeah, we're screwing over the next generation and maybe our own retirements by not telling the truth about the math. And it doesn't have to be dystopian. There's ways to deal with this stuff. We just don't have a lot more time. And look, we have something called the Sunset Act. We've been looking at regulations, command and control that are woven through the economy, particularly post-Biden administration, where they regulated at breakneck speed. And they're up for review. They need to be modernized. And part of the question is, if you're going to regulate air quality, do you do it the same way you did 30 years ago, when you actually have remote sensors that can be in your pocket, or do you need the $1 million a year tower to do it where you look at the entire marketplace? The fact of the matter is there's better, faster, cheaper ways and much more elegant, and you get the bad actors. And we've actually done some economic modeling, and it turns out we can actually add a real pop to GDP growth, the size of the economy. And GDP growth is important because that's actually your living standard. When we grow, you live better. And it turns out it's not deregulation, it's smart regulation. Find this bureaucratic control of economic growth, and let's just review them. Say, should we still do it the same way we did it 20 years ago? And yet, here, let me give a conceptual. Year and a half ago, met with a company, Phoenix-based, that's actually building a ginormous drone, and they intend to do ground-penetrating radar underneath this drone. And let's say you want to build a pipeline or a road. They're going to fly it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and penetrate the ground and see if are there archaeological, is there geological issues, these things. And at the end of the week, they claimed the AI, the artificial intelligence, can write the entire environmental and engineering report. What would have taken people to go out and walk the site a couple years? Now, we've already been being lobbied by, we're the archaeological guild, we're the geological guild, we're this and that, because we don't want to be replaced by the technology, so it should take 2 years. But we're going to do permitting reform saying we want to do it in half the time, so we're going to have these people walk twice as fast. That's the way this brain around here works. We're just going to make it so they walk twice as fast. Are we out of our minds? But yet that technology is not in the code yet. We have not legalized saying I can let AI, even though they claim the statistics of it would be more accurate than humans out walking the site. We can do things dramatically faster. There's a great article, I think it may have been an Economist or a Financial Times a couple days ago, that was making the point, China has become a country of engineers. We've become a country of lawyers. Why does it take us so long to build something? Why does it take us so long to do the things that would make us more prosperous? Sort of becomes obvious in that one line. We're a country of lawyers. Our competitors are countries of engineers. And look, when we start looking at actual GDP growth, it may be a better way than using the chart. Long-run economic growth by almost all the credible economists in America say, hey, we're going to get a nice pop the next year or two from what we did in the reconciliation budget. Great. But then because of our demographics, we start to hit, going back to the mean, it's only like 1.8% GDP growth. We cannot make it if we grow at anemic rates, but you can't do it through a bunch of handouts and subsidies. It's got to be from unleashing markets. It's why I'm so concerned seeing things going on where we're taking ownership interests in companies. Look, this one's going to be uncomfortable. But let's go back 15 years ago, the Great Recession, when we bailed out a car company. And yes, we were saving jobs, except for long-run economic growth, there's some brilliant papers have been written saying after a couple of years you would have had the same number of jobs and you would have had 3 or 4 creative, smaller, innovative car companies, this one doing electric, this one doing sports cars, this one doing... That's actually how creative destruction works in economies. It's like a phoenix. It's the rebirth. And when you stop that rebirth from happening, you don't get to clean out the legacy headwinds, the things that are slowing down the innovation. You basically perpetuate the inefficiencies. And it doesn't make you popular telling the truth, but we all know this. Should we have bailed out Blockbuster Video 15 years ago because every neighborhood, there are tens of thousands of people who work for Blockbuster? Should we have put Netflix out of business? Should we have slowed down the internet? Should we have stopped the revolution of technology that you go home now and hit a button? You say, that's absurd, David. No, it's the same sort of concept. Should government have stepped in and stopped innovation? We've done entire presentations here where you talk about the morality of cures. If diabetes is 33% of all U.S. healthcare, should we spend more money on helping people maintain their misery? Yeah, probably. But should we spend what's necessary to cure the disease? What would be the economic impact? There's a brilliant study from a couple years ago talking about maybe one of the leading, if not the leading contributor to income inequality in America is actually health. Except we'll get lobbied by groups that are upset saying, but if you cure the disease, what happens to my business model? This is how perverse this place has become. Where's the passion? Where's the vision? Where's the innovation? Where's the optimism? Look, I'm 63. My wife is 63. I have a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old. The 9-year-old is remarkably loud. You know, we're blessed. We were able to adopt. It's the most greatest joy in life. Mathematically, my children will be part of the first generation that's going to be poorer than their parents. That's the American ethos now. The American ethic is we're going to make our kids and our grandkids poorer because we want stuff. This is what we've become because we're so damn afraid to do things that are hard around here. Look, I'm going to do this slightly out of order. 10 weeks ago, when we were doing the big, beautiful bill, part of my deal was, Mr. Speaker, I don't like some of the things that are in here, but I really want to offer legislation to pay for it because I think there's some elegant things we could do to offset. And the deal was, okay, go ahead. See if you can get anyone to sponsor it and vote for it. So we've been chasing for over a year, and you go read the Wall Street Journal articles, go read the MedPAC report, the amount of fraud, waste, misalignment, and some of it's perfectly legal misalignment. We're the idiots that screwed up the law in Medicare Part C. Or what I was talking about a little while ago, cash that's been sitting in accounts for years that could be sweep that we're paying interest on. Or, and this number's getting bigger, a talent-based immigration system. We educate people and we send them home to compete with us. And the president's golden visas. It came into over $3 trillion of savings. We wrote the bills. We had PhD economists help us model them and get our numbers right. We got got a preliminary number from CBO that the Medicare Advantage modernization saves $1.8 trillion, making it the single biggest savings bill in U.S. history. Mr. Speaker, guess how many co-sponsors we have? 0. 0. Because it's hard, it's complicated, it's difficult to explain, but it's really good policy. There are solutions. Toughen up.